So fire come from the car. The fire come from the car, hit me only one time in my back, grazed my spine. So it put me in the wheelchair.
The gang life is for the young and up and coming. You make a name for yourself in this ultra-violent environment and usually end up in a coffin at an early age. But not Paul Gary Wallace. At 56, he has seen it all, and then some as he leads the South Los Angeles-based East Coast Crips with an iron hand and a velvet glove. Beware of an old man in a profession where most men die young. Especially in the volatile world, inhabited by hungry teenage gangbangers of all creeds and colors, surrounded by beautiful women, junkies, and the boys in blue, creating a place where death is around every corner. Yet somehow, Wallace managed to not just survive over 30 years of being a member of the East Coast Crips, but rise to become its leader. According to prosecutors, he was the most influential member of the gang's pacc set, a series of cliques of the gang responsible for control over territory in South Los Angeles.
So for that whole year, I had, we was just in there and I was stabbing their ass. I stabbed like about 10 of them.
Wallace, who went by the nickname Little Doc, maintained his control over the gang through violence and intimidation, authorities alleged. He murdered and conspired to commit murder to enhance the gang's violent reputation and subsequently his own status within the underworld. Having a fearsome reputation is good as gold on the streets. It helped with doing business. Wallace and his gang extorted local businesses operating in their territory, presided over robberies, and trafficked drugs.
So Evil came up to me, and Sinister from Swan, and Evil, all of them, they was doing their thing, worshiping the devil. And I was trying to worship the devil, all in the Crip module and shit, because I got bitter with God.
But one can always add some flavor to such a reputation. In Wallace's case, that meant worshiping the devil. He got the idea when he met a white dude in county court, he told the Cali Banging podcast. I was in a wheelchair, shot up. Soon as I could walk, got out of the wheelchair. 2 years later, I get shot 7 more times. So I was just bitter towards God, So I wrote these people in Texas, the Devil's Church, and they sent me a Devil's Bible. He began reading it and immersed himself in all the rituals. He even shot a dog and cut off his paws and placed them inside a circle of candles. His outlandish behavior had his underlings laughing, he says. But it also put some of them on edge. I ain't fucking with cuz he's a devil worshiper and shit. While doing time in prison in the late 1980s, he continued his devil worshipping. His cell wall was covered with 666 and all sorts of names for Satan. He even met a fellow worshiper, Cleveland Big Evil Johnson of the Swan family Bloods, someone who would have been his enemy on the outside. But inside, they were best buddies, bonding over their shared love for Satan. They lifted weights together and posed for pictures holding blue and red bandanas.
And I asked them to roll with me every number. And I asked them all why to roll with me, on this, to make a better community. You know what I'm saying? Because I came to homies that got kids, and I got kids today.
Despite his violent profession, Wallace tried to use his position to make things better in his neighborhood. Street TV reported in September of 2019. During that time, Wallace took part in peace negotiations between gangs of the Crips and Bloods. These evolved and grew, and eventually resulted in peace talks between Wallace's East Coast Crips and the Florencia 13 gang.
This is maybe our 8th or maybe 9th meeting with the Crips and Bloods. So the whole thing is to bring peace.
It felt good, man, Wallace told Street TV, just to be amongst your people, sitting with them, knowing they was your rivals. And every time the meeting end, we eating with each other, exchange phone numbers with each other. Then we call each other and talk on phones with each other. The next day we meet again and have breakfast together, lunch and dinner with each other. We letting our kids know each other. It's beautiful, brother, just being amongst your people and not having to watch your back. That's what every brother needs to understand. We need to come together because we can be so much stronger together than we are trying to be rivals. If you are enjoying this video, please remember to like and subscribe. The truce with Florencia 13 was something Wallace was very proud of. He told Street TV, that's something that makes history. They propositioned us with it, and I respected that, man. Skip Townsend of Second Call, who took part in the peace negotiations, said, never seen this. Never seen the SA say, let's squash this.
You know, I don't want to die throwing up no East Coast Crip at you. I'm not supposed to let you catch me slipping and then got your gun on me. You gonna kill me, I'm gonna die with honor.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger, do what you do. But I'm not supposed to be like, nigga, I'm from East Coast Crip and you kill me.
It's an example of the influence Wallace has and how much respect he gets from other gangs. He feels gangs play an integral role in society. The structure is very important for the black race in these black tribes. These gangs, because without, we continue to be discombobulated. A lot of people are trying to keep the gangs going, keep the killings going, keep the drama going, all the hatred going, all the disrespect stuff that's going on, and making it harder by not having a structure and accept that structure. Structured gangs can be controlled and led. Violence and killings can be stopped. Once control is lost, violence increases, similar to how the American mafia tried to control portions of organized crime to make sure business ran smooth. Despite the peace talks, the LAPD and FBI had a different picture of Wallace. They had their eyes on him for big-time racketeering crimes and 2 murders and were hot on his trail. Wallace was arrested on July 22, 2020. According to the prosecutors, Wallace was far from the peaceful figure he claimed to be. If anyone stepped across the line, they were dealt with in violent fashion. Assaults and shootings were part of doing business. Wallace had no problem with getting his own hands dirty either, they claimed. On November 13, 2014, he ordered the murder of a rival gang member, drove his men to the victim's house, and personally handed one of his men a firearm, which was then used to murder the rival gangster. Most men who find themselves in such a position of power tend to opt to let their underlings handle such violent activities for sensible reasons. Wallace would find that out when the murder weapon, an AK-47 style assault rifle, was later found in his van. On Monday, April 18, 2022, after an 11-day trial, a federal jury found Wallace guilty of federal criminal charges for conspiring to commit racketeering through various criminal acts, including murder, extorting local businesses, and the distribution of narcotics. The jury acquitted Wallace of a February 2003 murder of another rival.
420 months. Lil Doc Throne from East Coast.
Locked up behind bars, he will face difficulties reaching out to youngsters on the streets who might be getting involved in gang wars over bullshit, just when he was reaching a point where he could make a serious change for good in his neighborhood and city. It's the biggest challenges of getting my people to understand how important it is for us to drop the guns and stop killing each other, he told Street TV. For us to still be dangerous, but not towards one another. Because the system in America is designed for us to continue to kill one another. And they know if we stop killing one another, then they scared of us. The system of America is scared when they see us unite. That's fear. We put fear in them. Because only one thing is going to come to their mind, and that's for the black race to get their ass back for enslaving us and then for all the shit they done to us. They think that's what we're going to do if we get united. They think we're going to look upon them and say, let's get the white folks for all the shit they did to us. That's what they fear. But that ain't what we up to. We trying to come together as a black race. That's what I'm pushing today. I want to see my race come together and love one another, help one another, and be united, not trying to kill one another, despising one another. That's my whole thing, to see my race like that.
That brother Hart, I know that brother is all about peace, man. The peace he done brought to kitchens and East Coasters, the peace he done brought to F-13s and East Coasters, the peace he just brought with the Broadways and East Coasters, man. I know that brother, man, it's all about love, man, and all about doing something positive with his life and making sure other people, man, have the opportunity to live longer lives, man, in our community, man.